Hello and welcome back to my vlog. We're on to the fourth day of the 30-day mental diet. Still working on the third day and I'm doing okay. And I heard an interesting thing on the radio that tied right into this, but I won't go into that now. So fourth day, learn to think constructively. It is necessary that you think in a constructive manner. Now that you have some idea as to who you are, where you are, and the importance of yourself, the question arises as to the nature of the creative activity of your mind. You have ascertained that you are essentially mind, consciousness, an intelligent thinker. And this is also the nature of the creative power back of the universe. Pure thought in the mind of God, infinite intelligence, is the one and only source of all things. A thought in mind manifests itself in and as the physical universe in accord with the law and order of its own nature. Think carefully. Similarly, inasmuch as your mind is an expression and activity of the one mind, it would stand to reason that it is also creative. Creative not on a cosmic scale, but in your own life and experience. Your thinking determines your experience. In fact, your thoughts become the conditions and situations you encounter in daily living. If you find yourself prone to argue with this idea, relax for a while. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. The time will come when you will prove for yourself the validity of this concept. In the meantime, accept it at face value. Proceed on the assumption that it is true. Others have proved this true, and there is no reason why you cannot prove it true for yourself. Thoughts are things. Thoughts become your experiences. The activity of life is a constructive process. It is forever building things up, creating and organizing in a purposive manner in accord with some design. The purpose and the design discernible in all that lives are not to be found in the chemical elements comprising any living thing. The purpose and design or pattern are nebulous and intangible, yet they are the causative factors. They are intelligent. They act in accord with law. They evidence order and harmonious creativity. They could have only one source: conscious intelligence, life, mind, God. But a problem arises. If it is the nature of mind to be constructive and creative as the result of the process of its thought, how constructive and beneficial is your creative thought? It is creative by nature, but how about the constructive aspect? By constructive is it beneficially creative? Does it produce a better life and experience for you? Think this over carefully. To what extent is your thinking positive or negative, constructive or destructive, beneficial or detrimental? In other words, just what are you doing to yourself? Thinking can be harmful. Infinite mind could never think in a destructive manner, or it would destroy itself. But you have been created free to think as you choose. You may think in any manner you so desire, either in accord with the nature of the constructive and beneficial thought of the one mind, or destructively in any way you may care to. And man seems to have thought up many unique patterns of negative thinking. Once you fully realize the creative nature of your thought, you will know that the consistent pattern of your thinking is what you are experiencing in your health, affairs, and relationships. What do you want life to be for you? What it becomes starts with the way you think. Just how costly are some of your thought patterns? Can you afford them? Constructive thinking. One of the purposes of this mental diet is to get you started thinking in a constructive manner, creating good in your life and experience rather than just wishing things were better and thinking constantly about how bad they are. Clear, consistent, affirmative patterns of thought will be creative of a fuller, richer life. It is yours for the thinking and for the carrying of the thought into action in your daily living. You can start to do this now. You do not need to wait for something big to come along, some crisis or perplexing problem. You think all the time. You are doing things all the time. Tie the two together right now. There is nothing big or little to the creative power of thought, but once you realize it works in the so-called little things of life, you will have no misgivings about its power in relation to the solutions of problems which seem big to you. Mental stimulants. Science. We discover that the universe shows evidence of a designing or controlling power that has something in common with our own individual minds. Sir James Jeans. Philosophy. The thoughts of the soul are not ideas, but creative powers. The more the soul lives in the light of the Spirit, turned towards that which is above itself, the more creative it becomes. Plotinus. Religion. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Matthew 10:20. Learn to think constructively. Oh, we're in that. The diet. For he spake and it was done. The creative power of the conscious thought of infinite mind, God, is the invisible source of all that is. This same creative power resides in my thought, and I may consciously direct it to the degree I am aware of it. I could not be otherwise. I speak my word, and it is done. The words I speak, the thoughts I think. I know to be creative of my life and experience. In this knowledge rests my newfound key to a fuller enjoyment of all of life's abundant riches. My thought is always creative, and I now declare that my patterns of thinking will be of a constructive nature. I discard all tendencies to think in ways that may have been productive of undesirable experiences. Regardless of appearances, I entertain only ideas of good, fine health, abundant supply of all things, and harmonious activities and relationships. The creative nature of my thought now has only ideas of good to work on. I renew the content of my mind and thus renew the content of my experience of life. I stand guard at the gateway of my mind and entertain only those ideas which I desire to have become tangibly manifested. God declares himself anew and goes forth into manifestation through every beneficial word I speak. Capsule Supplement. As I now renew the content of my mind with only good and constructive ideas, I know that my entire life is remade to conform with the nature of these ideas. Today I will apply this idea to these aspects of my thoughts and actions. Fill in the blank. My particular problem, condition, or situation which it can be used to correct is fill in the blank. And those fill in the blanks are the ones that are still giving me trouble. So maybe I need to make one of those my fill in the blank. We'll see. More tomorrow. We're on to the 5th day tomorrow. Life is for you. Make it a great day, and bye for now.